so nice to be here and to be on stage. Although it's virtual, but and it's a very good initiative that you guys arranged. So I'm very happy to be here today. And so please tell me, while you're sitting in your home or maybe in the car or in the office, who is active on LinkedIn? Please raise your hands. And who is active on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, maybe YouTube? So yeah, well, and who is also still driving sales in the offline world? Please also raise your hand. So I am a strong believer of connecting the online world and the offline world together. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we have we actually stream this conference to different platforms. So unfortunately, they cannot raise their hands, but
I know, yeah, but maybe I can see it in front of me that maybe then when they watching this video, then they're like, yeah, me. So it's fine. So of course, when I'm normally on stage, I want to do like an interaction with the people. So I think it's important to arrange something. But I know that they cannot see it right now. They cannot raise their hands right now. So that's totally fine. Okay, so social selling, how to connect the online world with the offline world. It's all about personal branding also. And we're going to talk about making a connection, how to seduce your potential customer, tell the story, and how to attract your potential customer. So when we're talking about making a connection, it's like really from human to human. And when we're talking about seduce your customers, it has everything to do with your online presence as well as your offline presence. Both are very, very important. And you have to tell the story, right? You have to share your knowledge, share insights, and be active. And then attract, if you do so, then you will attract the right customer, someone who feels the energy, someone who really someone who your content and your knowledge is valuable to. So that is what I really strongly believe in. But first of all, nice to meet you. Who am I? I'm Carola Rodrigues. I'm living in the Netherlands. And first of all, my most important role in life is that I'm a mom. I'm a mom of two boys, Ryan and Yves. One is 14 year old, and the other one is 10 years old. And yeah, well, we're the three of us, and yeah, of course, they're everything to me. And besides that, in a business way, in a professional way, I'm a keynote speaker and an author. I wrote a book in 2016 about the change in the sales environment and also in the marketing landscape, Social Selling Masterclass. Well, I have my own company as a keynote speaker and an author and an advisor. And 2.5 years ago, I also started a company with my business partner, Geert. And the name is, so how funny is that? It's the name of the company is Connect Online with Offline. So that's what we strongly believe in. When I'm not taking care of my kids and when I'm not working, I really love to kickbox. I go to the gym almost every day, 5 days a week, and I really, really love to dance salsa and bachata. And of course, I love my socials. So that's a little bit more information about me. And if you want to connect with me, please feel free to make a picture, and then we're connected on LinkedIn. Oh yeah, as I mentioned before, I wrote a book, Social Selling Masterclass, in 2016, and together with Geert, we developed the social selling game. It's on a concept of truth or dare. And while we go together through this hour and talk about social selling and how to connect the online with the offline world, I think I've got like 4 or 5 questions from the social selling game, which you can think about. So here's the first one. So please take like a moment for yourself, but before you start, you have to choose if you want to do the truth or the dare question. Truth is more question, and dare are more like the actions you can do. So please take a moment, read the questions for yourself, and let me know afterwards what you have been chosen. So this is one from the social selling game. Take your time. And then we go further on. I want to share a movie with you guys. It's about the changement that has been made in the sales environment, in the sales landscape. It is about social selling. It is, I think, a video from the US. And yeah, well, I'm very curious if you have looked at the video, what you think about it. So please take a look together with me to the video.
Meet Fred.
Hello.
Fred's a traditional salesperson, making up to 100 cold calls a day, hoping to connect with new prospects. Like many old school salespeople, Fred's been using cold call techniques his entire career. Unfortunately, these interruptive sales strategies are no longer effective. Prospects are no longer answering their phones, and nobody is returning voicemails from salespeople. What Fred doesn't understand is that 90% of his buyers are starting their buying journey online, and 60 to 70% of the buying process is being done without him. While Fred's quota keeps going up, his results keep going down. And that's not fun. These days, Fred's praying that he can time a perfect cold call to land a whale account. But his prayers are going unanswered, and he's losing faith fast. This is Sally. Unlike Fred, Sally's been trained in the art of social selling. Sally knows where to find her buyers online and how to provide valuable insights during their buying journey. She never makes cold calls. Instead, she deals only with buyers who have indicated that they're ready to buy and want to help in their purchase process. Sally understands that by sharing her insight and educating her buyers at the right times, she will make her solution the logical choice. In fact, she provides so much value and insight that her buyer community shares her ideas and solutions to their social networks, creating her very own little sales army of inbound leads. These new social selling strategies are making her competitors irrelevant. Unlike Fred, Sally is never stressed, and she always outperforms other sales reps by more than 20% each month.
So yeah, of course, everyone wants to be Sally, right? And she has a very important advantage that she's a woman. No, but without making jokes, this is what it is, right? So the world has changed. Of course, we live in a more digital world. We cannot think without internet or without the social media platforms. So, but also the traditional ways of doing business are also still very important. So before I had a sales and marketing agency, and we did consultancy, but also we did also B2B lead generation, really only the cold calling techniques. And I'm now talking about 2007, 2008, 2009, in that time of year. And it was like really picking up the phone call and make a lot of phone calls. So that's why I got all this data. And I always said to my team, to my employees at that time, I prefer that you do less phone calls, but that you really take the time for a potential customer and maybe talk 20, 25 minutes and ask questions and have like a nice moment together and then make an appointment. Then I would manage on the numbers. So I think that is very important in the time of cold calling. And then for ourselves, and this is important to share with you guys, I think, to tell the story about how I came to social selling, is because for myself, I became a little bit more active on Twitter as well on LinkedIn. And I had someone working at the company at that time. It was an IT whiz kid, a male, and he said to me, "Oh, I think we need to make maybe some videos and then share it with the world." And because I always hear you talk with customers and you talk about the headaches and the solutions, so we did, and it then at that time didn't really have a name, so we shared the videos. We shared the videos and we got a lot of reactions. And I realized, we're like producing a sort of content bank at this moment. So this is really, really valuable also for the business. And then we got leads like from our Twitter, throughout LinkedIn, and they came to the website. And there was like a sort of inbound marketing happening while we were doing cold calling techniques. So this was for me something to really investigate and to do my research in the US at that time. And then I saw, oh, wait a minute, this has a name. We're talking about social sales, social selling. Well, and as you can see, the facts and figures are like really positive. And I think it's really worthwhile if you're not ever experienced the power of social selling, but you're still doing the only traditional way of sales. Yeah, I think it's a pity for yourself. So do your own research, read books, yeah, try things for yourself, for your business. And I think you're going to experience the same as we did. And still do. So as you can see, for example, 91% of the business-to-business buyers are active on social media, because in the beginning of the days, a lot of people said to me, oh, social selling, it's like really for B2C, it's not for B2B buyers. But it's so not true. And because so many people are on the social media account. So, and again, the traditional way of doing business, the traditional way of doing sales is still a good way, right? It's not because if we have something new that we cannot do the old way. I think bring it together. And what works for you the best, right? So, but you can, of course, experience other things and new things. And one important thing that came more and more and more important in doing business is that people do business with people and not with logos. So we really want human communication. We really want to make the connection from person to person. I'm not going to talk to a logo, of course, and the logo is not going to say anything back to me. So people do business with people, and this is very important, because then we can come to the subject of personal branding. And personal branding is like a really key element of social selling. But later on about personal branding. So of course the world has changed, right? And yeah, it did. Like we had the last 2 years, 2.5 years, we had to deal with COVID still. So things are changed. And if you can see that, for example, the job listing now is like on LinkedIn and like on the internet. But before it was really only in the newspapers. But keep in mind that the old ways also really have a value, right? Not only the new ways are the best approach. For myself, my kids, my boys, they don't know, they have ever seen like a phone like these, right? They are so used to just click on the TV and want to see like a series or a movie at that time that they want it. And that's Netflix, but we didn't have it. So the world has changed, of course. But again, also the old ways are good. So please, for myself, if I want to stand out, like with my potential customers, or do something to one of our customers, I sometimes write a handwritten postcard, not only email. Please don't. To stand out, you have to be original, right? So then the old ways are coming back, of course. So yeah, well, as you can see, I really love the images of this designer. She did a really good job. Spotify, also one thing, and my boys, they cannot imagine that we recorded music on the radio and then listened back. And that was a sort of Spotify for us. But now, just one click and you can listen to all the artists all over the whole world and everything that you want. So this is what it is. We cannot shut our eyes anymore for this new world. Okay, then, so let's talk about social selling. What is social selling, and what stands the social for in the definition of social selling? And maybe more important, what is it not? Well, it's not selling only through throughout media, social media. Really not. Of course, social media is a part of it, but it's not only if you're active on social media, then you're like social selling. But I will show you guys later. It's not only about me. It's not a me show. It has nothing to do with bragging. Really, people don't really like other people who brag, right? So stay away from that. It's not the one-way communication or one-way sales. No, you really have to find like the interaction. And focusing only on your organizations is also not a good idea. So tricks, we don't like tricks. And the online business, it is of course online, but it is online together with offline. Online, you can make the connection, you can make the interaction, you can make sure that there's like a real oil stain, and it goes like really faster if you put it on a social media platform. But then think about it. Is my potential customer active on the social media platform? If not, then why are you sharing your content there? Why are you investing time and energy when your potential customer isn't there, business-wise, then? So a few years ago, I developed a social selling strategy, very simple in 9 steps. And what you can see here, that's for example, step 4 is social media. So it's only one step in the social selling process, in the social selling strategy. And you can think for yourself, and of course, a goal is always important. Also in the normal traditional sales, if we don't have a goal, yeah, then we can better stop for that day, because what are we working on then? What's the ambition? Where do we want to go to? So of course you have to start with a goal, and then your proposition and your target audience, your target group, those two, you really need to combine those two. And when you're working for an organization and they have like more propositions, then my advice would be pick one proposition just for a time and one target audience, and really focus on that proposition and that target audience and combine those two, because then you stand out and then you really talk the talk of the target audience. Then you know everything about your potential customer. So then social media, as I said before, just one step. Now, then you have to collect content. So I will show you guys some later on in this hour, some tips and advice about content and how you can do so. Create a content calendar, and then you go to the market, and that's the action step. Then you're going to share, and that's like really exciting, because also in content and as a personal brand, we ask you guys to definite your vision and also to share your vision. So half of the people doesn't agree and the other half does agree or thinks it's inspiring, and it's perfect, because the half that doesn't believe you or doesn't feel the energy or doesn't believe in the vision, it's not the time, right? So it's perfect. Choose. You really need to choose in content, choose in proposition, choose in your target audience, and become like an expert. So that's what we advise. And then is the phase of lead nurturing, and this is like really difficult also to measure things, because not everything, of course, you can measure your SSI, but you cannot measure always everything in the lead nurturing process. Because sometimes, also for myself, a few years ago, a commercial director followed me for 1 year on Twitter, and only after 1 year, he contacted me that he wants an appointment, and he asked me the question if I want to train his sales reps. So, but I didn't know. I didn't know that he followed me. I didn't know that he read my content, that he liked it. I had no clue. So not everything is for measurement. So please keep that in mind. And then the last step, acquisition. So website leads, follow up, online leads, LinkedIn follow up. And of course, picking up the phone call in the old-fashioned way, and really make in a personal way the connection with your potential customer. All right, new question. So choose for yourself first, truth or dare, and then have a moment and take a look at the questions, or maybe at the point of action, and choose for yourself, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to answer the question? Or maybe am I going to share a minimum of 3 valuable tips for my target group that I'm going to use as content? Think for yourself, and of course you can pause the video or take a picture, I don't know, but make it important for yourself. All right, so yeah, well, that was all about making the connection from human to human and seduce. Now we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics within social selling and within doing business together, and it's all about personal branding. And personal branding, as I said before, is key element in social selling. And here it is very important that you keep in mind that it is an ongoing process. If we start with our customers with building powerful personal brands, we don't do that in one day. We don't do that in 1 week. You're not becoming a personal brand or strong personal brand within 1 month. So you really have to be patient, and you really have to think about a lot of teams that are in personal branding. As you can see, about your passion, about your vision, what kind of story are you going to tell, who are you as a person, as a professional, how do you want to be seen, how does the market see you, and is there a fit? So you have to think about that. And then, of course, you have to think about, okay, so who is my target audience then? And where's my knowledge? What is my knowledge? And what do I have to bring to the market and to my target audience? So yeah, well, personal branding, beautiful, but also something that you really need to be patient for. And this is so important. Sometimes companies where we work together with, in the beginning, they say, yeah, we want results and we want social selling strategy and we want to, of course, yeah, well, we want to see results more faster, but it cannot always happen like in a fast way. And we cannot skip the part of personal branding. So it's without creating strong personal brands, yeah, I dare to say that social selling is useless. So make it important, personal branding. And if you do so, then you go from interrupting, which is really annoying, of course, to attracting. You want to attract your potential customer, right? So you have to think about, who am I? Who am I really in an authentic way? And yesterday I was giving a training, and then one of the participants, she asked me, and it's a good question. She asked me, okay, so then I need to pick a target audience, and then I need to think about my personal brand. But maybe from our division of the company, it's more important that I put the target audience on the first place, and then think about my personal brand, and then that my personal brand will fit into the target audience. Is this the way? And I was like, no, it's the other way around. So of course we're going to think about the target audience, but then it's becoming a trick. And then the energy doesn't flow, and you cannot, maybe for like 6 months or so, you can do so, but then because it's not real, so you cannot do it for a year or 2 or 5 years. So you in the first place are most important as a personal brand, as an authentic being. And then we're going to have a look at your target audience, right? So not so long ago, I read a book, Ikigai. I don't know if you know it, but if you don't, I would strongly advise you to buy it and to read it. It's from a Japanese philosophy, and I really, really loved every page. So yeah, I borrowed this picture because for me, personal branding, as I said before, there are a lot of themes how you build a professional personal brand, but this is like a really beautiful recap of what is important in personal branding. And of course, in the middle, there's a sweet spot, that's your ikigai. So think about your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession. And we cannot only do things that we love, right? Because of course the bills need to be paid. So the mortgage needs to be paid. I need bread for my kids. So I also need to do something what I can be paid for and what I'm good at, but also something what the world needs. And it sounds maybe like really big, but you also can make it smaller. And I think the most important thing is do what you love, and that you have passion, and that I can see the twinkle in your eyes when you get up in the morning and you take a shower, that you're like, okay, yeah, well, let's start the day, let's go. I think it's very important. And not only if you work for a company, you're an employee and not, for example, an entrepreneur, and you think, yeah, well, I believe it, and the vision of the company, I believe it also. Hey, but at the end of the month, my paycheck is like really, really nice. Yeah, well, I don't think that is for a whole of your life. You can hold on to that. So, but of course, you need to know for yourself. So it's all about a personal and professional brand and building relationships of trust. And so this is the most important word in sales, of course, trust. If you look at the picture right here, yeah, who would go hang there on that rope? And then, okay, so the man on the mountain is the instructor, and the other one is the participant, client. So he needs to really trust the instructor, right? But how is he going to trust the instructor? You can think about the quality of materials, but also the knowledge and the experience of the instructor. And also if he just feels in his tummy, in his stomach, if he feels he can trust him, and strongly believe that if he will hang there on the rope, that everything will just be fine. So trust is, of course, really, really, really important. So a quick recap: personal branding, key elements of social selling. Make sure be an expert, and that you become a strong, powerful personal brand, as well offline as online. It's all about your authentic self. And again, you cannot become authentic, you are authentic. When you got born and when you got to this world, you are like a unique person. So you are already authentic. So keep that in mind. And of course, your personal brand, if you work it out, you can also translate it to a digital business card, your LinkedIn profile, as example. So the upcoming video I want to share with you guys, it's about the authentic swing, but I know that the volume is like minimum. So please, for yourself, listen carefully. It's a really nice fragment from the movie Beggar Fans with Will Smith. So yeah, I wanted to share with you guys.
Don't worry about hitting the ball the way it's gonna go. Just swing the club, feel the club. Close your eyes. Yeah, you can't make that ball go in that hole. You have to let it. I want you to feel the club rolling off your feel the weight of the club. Sailing on the perfect line, dropping out that high, soft as butter. Listen to the sounds of the night. Just keep swinging that club till feel the breeze inside the heart of the sea. Every one of us is one rustling through the tree, authentic swing. Just keep swinging that club till authentic swing. You're part of the whole thing. Something we was born with. Take a deep breath. That's a good thing. To the sounds of the night.
I don't feel a thing.
You just keep swinging that club till you're part of the whole thing. That's a good thing. Can you see it? All right, time to go.
Wow.
So the question is, can you see it? Can you and can you give yourself like space to see it? What is your authentic swing? Make it important for yourself, for your business, for your personal brand. And if you are an employee, of course, make sure that you recruit your employees as brand ambassadors, right? And also that you invest in time and in energy and also in space that they can experience their authentic swing. Let them be who they are. And if you put fear aside, then really magical things can happen. So a question for you guys. What's your expertise? Where's your knowledge? And who is your target group? Who's your target audience? Do you know this for yourself? And if not, then please take time for yourself to think about it after the presentation, after this day. Maybe you can like make a list for yourselves with the answers to the following question. Where am I really good at? And then think about like skills, like I'm a good listener, or I can really read people like in a non-verbal way. What is it that you own, not only at knowledge side, but also in the skills way? And who is your target audience? Do you really know everything about your target audience? Okay, again, we live in an online world, right? Did we ever thought about companies like Uber, Airbnb? If someone would have told me like 15 years ago that we were going to pay for staying in other houses and that it would really be competitive with the hotel market, we would laugh, right? But it is a fact. We have Uber, we have Airbnb, they're like really game changers. And this is what happens in one internet minute. It was in 2016, right? So it's crazy if you look at the numbers. And then take a look at 2020 and 2021. You can see for yourself, like Facebook, for example. Everyone's like, yeah, no, people are not very active on Facebook anymore, but they're still growing. WhatsApp, 19 million texts sent, 21.1 million texts are sent. Video content, that is really, really hot video content. What do you think about Tinder, for example, TikTok? This is what we live in, right? This is our world. And yeah, of course, you are who you are. If Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram say who you are. But of course, you can be of a great influence on that. that. So this is a very good quote of Steve Jobs when he said, yeah, well, and this has everything to do with awareness, right? Your potential customer or your followers or your ambassadors, sometimes they don't know what they want until you tell them, until you make them awake, until you show them. So be aware of this. And yeah, well, this is the new generation buyers. Little kids who are swiping like in 2 seconds from screen to screen, from app to app. This is new generation buyers. And again, this is a fact. So if this is the new generation of buyers, things are changing, are already changed. And that really has an influence on how your sales process, of course, also changed, right? But then again, it's very important, on the other hand, that you really need to always keep in mind that also the online world and the offline world, and the online business and the offline business, that you really can combine those two together, because we live in a digital world, and a lot is throughout the social media platforms, a lot is online. But at this moment, we all really want to be more in the offline world. We all really want to feel the energy, right? To be in a room with another person, not to do everything from out the screen. For myself, it's so nice to be here today, but of course, for myself, I want to be on the stage. I want to see the audience. I want to see the people. That is what we all really want and need. So keep that in mind. Okay, seduce. So this is also very important. You need to think about the way how you profile, right? Make sure that you take care of yourself, and that the way that you want to be seen is the same as who you are. And for example, and it doesn't matter, but if you like gain weight or something, maybe like in 10 or 20 pounds, it doesn't matter. But make sure that the profile picture on LinkedIn, for example, is the same as who you are right now, because then you go to a network event, and then I've looked you up on LinkedIn, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is the guy or the woman, and then we meet each other on a network event, and I cannot recognize you. So this is really strange. So who you are in real life, make sure that it's also the same in the online world, right? And think about how important it is that you only have one chance for one impression. So for myself, I also love to be in my pajamas or in my sweatpants. But when I'm working or when I'm on stage, yeah, I cannot put on my sweatpants, right? That would be a little bit silly. So you need to think about your presence, your online and your offline presence. Content. Okay, so I think this is something that you all know, guys. In content, the principle is very important, the know, like, trust factor. And yeah, well, of course, yeah, and again, the same as with the Ikigai, in the middle, there's a sweet spot, you should be there. And the know factor, do people know you? And the only way they can get to know you is that you present yourself. They cannot get to know you if you don't share anything, or if you're not online, for example, on LinkedIn or one of the social media platforms, or if you never ever share something in the offline world. How do people then know of your existence, right? So show yourself, that's important. And then the like factor. So are you likable? Do you help other people? Do you answer questions? Are you not only going for your own success? People don't like that. So that's very important. Be likable, be nice to each other. And then, of course, the trust factor, as we saw it before in sales, it's, yeah, I think the most important word, trust. Are you honest? And do you have proven results that you can show to your potential customer? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you really provide quality? So this is very important. Think about it. Make sure that you are valuable to the market, to your target audience, right? And then think about to create your own vision. And if you're an employee, then of course the organization that you work for, they have like had a corporate vision. And you need to make sure for yourself that you believe in that vision, and then create a sort of sub-vision within that vision. And if you don't believe in that vision, if you're like, I strongly do not believe in that vision of my organization, then please make sure that you go to work somewhere else. You cannot work for an organization if you don't believe in the vision, right? So think about this kind of things, because when you're at the table with your potential customer and you cannot share parts of that vision. You cannot bring that message. You are also not sharing the energy in the right way throughout the table, throughout to your potential customer. And customers, people feel that. They feel it's not real and it's not authentic, and they don't want to do business with unreal people. Yeah, so make sure that you make it important for yourself. Okay, some of the content types. So of course, you can do like an infographic. You can make an infographic. Maybe you have all the knowledge and all the information, but you're not a designer. Okay, well, go to a designer. Make sure, go to the marketing department, marketing communication department. Make sure that you make like a really good, nice, valuable infographic. You can share, of course, videos on YouTube, Vimeo, Vine, Instagram. But again, make sure that you know where your target audience is active and on what kind of social media platform you are going to share your content, right? If your target audience is not on Instagram, yeah, maybe for yourself in a personal way, in a private way, but otherwise, business-wise, you don't need to be active on Instagram. You can also, of course, share quotes, posts, blogs, presentations, slide shares. Yeah, think about what kind of content suits me and makes me happy, and it's for everyone very not the same. So you can think of what do I really like as a person to create, to produce in content. And if you're not very creative for yourself, as I said before, please just go to your market and communication department and work together when you're a sales rep. And then content, photos. Okay, so the little sentence there in Dutch, but I can tell you a little bit about it. So I wanted to share with you guys what works and what doesn't work. So as you can see, you see like a picture with the laptop, right? And a cup of coffee. For me, it's on the left. It's a stock photo, and it doesn't do anything because the sentence is about a solution for the finance and operations, and it's like a product post. So it's not very nice, right? But then something more personal. This was the moment that we signed the contract for the new office. And then you see like people like it because it's real. I'm telling a story. It's a new step in our business that we signed a contract for an office, and people like that. They can feel you and can feel for you. So this works very good. But of course, we cannot only share nice and nice energy content. It also has to be of like with insights, of course. So this is also very important. But then you can see here also, this is a sales content piece versus a personal content piece. Again, this is Geert, my business partner, with his beautiful daughter, and then you can see what it does, what kind of impact it has, right? So be aware of this. People love to see the real people behind the function, and they wanna hear and see real stories. So think about this. Oh, the same here, sales versus personal. This is not even sales because it's a LinkedIn profile checklist that we give for free to our followers. But it's a little bit salesy, right? So it doesn't do not much. And then you see then again a personal post, and that does it a lot better. And then make sure that content is also responding to others, because your potential customers are maybe also sharing content, right? So you need to make sure that you follow the content of your customers and your potential customers, and sometimes react on that content. Maybe ask a question or give a compliment. Just it's all about giving attention, right? So a few content tips. Think for yourself about, okay, what's the moment that someone stops scrolling? And that what we mean by this is that, of course, there's like an overkill of content, right? And then you're on a LinkedIn timeline, for example, and then you're like scrolling, but then you stop, and then it's something is maybe attract your attention. It's important. You want to read it. So what kind of moments are they? Think about it. And people like stories, don't you? Also for yourself. And always share your vision, as I said before, very important. You cannot skip this step. So also think about that, and share things from yourself. And this is something that a lot of people always ask me: what are the the boundary for myself, because I don't want to share things about my kids. Okay, that's fine. You don't need to share anything about your kids or anything about your house or something. So this is for yourself setting boundaries, but you need to think first about what do I want then, and what don't I want. So otherwise you cannot set the boundaries, right? But it's all good and it's all fine, because it is what it is, because you're authentic. And if you don't want to share anything more personal, then you don't. Please don't. And this is also a very important content tip, because when you're working for an organization and you have a marketing communication department, and they often facilitate good usable content, but maybe from different propositions, right? Because yeah, well, they want to share everything and they do it from a corporate vision. But for yourself, if you believe in social selling and if you believe in what I just said before, then you have to make for yourself the choice. Okay, but I cannot share all the proposition, all the content of all the proposition, because your target audience is like really chaotic. They don't know then what they need to be for with you. What is your expert status, right? If you share everything, yeah, what's the use then, right? So you have to think about the headache of your potential customer and make sure that it's really, really on point. If you know the headache of your potential customer, the pain, like in the real urgency that they have, and you really make sure that you're get into the mindset of your potential customer, make it like really real. For example, I always say to my customers, my participants in the room, think about the following example. Like your target audience, for example, what is a good name? I don't know, Kevin. He comes home from a long day of work, and his wife, she already prepared the meal, very nice of her, and they're going to sit down. She gives him the meal and something to drink, and then she says, okay, well, babe, please tell me, how was your day? And Kevin, he's like the commercial director of a big company, and he's going to share his day with her. Yeah, well, and all my sales managers, and this, and our revenues, and well, and our sales pipeline. And he's going to share all kind of things that are during the day, during the week, during the month, are his headaches. And you need to think about in detail about those headaches. Be on point with that. Okay. Then another question: choose for yourself, truth or dare. Truth. This is a nice one. What makes you proud about the job you do and the organization you work for? Good one, good one. And dare, take a look at who has checked your LinkedIn profile. I still meet people that don't do this, and I'm always like, yeah, that's really crazy, because yeah, it must be a reason that they're going to check your profile, right? So always, yeah, be in control and be in charge of who check your profile, and not to do right away a commercial action. No, but just think about it. Maybe you can click back on their profile. Maybe you can read a little bit of their content. It's like a little bit of business flirting, right? So choose for yourself, truth or dare. I'm very curious what you have been chosen later on. Okay, so tell the story, right? One moment. It's so important that you share your knowledge, that you tell the story. And yeah, if you do so, then you're going to attract the right customers. So please have a look at the upcoming video. Hey, so as you can see, it's all about giving your potential customers all kind of seeds in their heads. If you do so, and you give it water, like give it attention, and make sure that there's an interaction, then it's going to grow. But without giving seeds to the market, without giving seeds to the potential customer, they are not aware of you, of your business, of their pain, of their potential pain. So make sure that you give attention, that you give water, right? And also grow your network just with valuable people, not only with prospects, because also not prospects, but valuable people also have their own network. And there you can really grow your network, right? So a few tips after you've shared your own content. So we're still like in the steps of the social selling. Now you create your content, then you've shared your content, and then what? A lot of people ask me, yeah, I don't know. Then we shared, and then we're like, okay, then we're going to sit back and relax and wait. No. Always respond with at least a like. If someone, doesn't matter who it is, if it is a potential customer, a connection, respond to your content, make sure that you give a like. And because it's a conversation starter, give attention, right? Make sure that you do so. And the social selling game, it starts when people respond to your content. Then it only begins. So then you have like the moment to make sure that you have the interaction. So give meaningful responses from your point of view, ask questions, share your knowledge, share your vision. And also, if someone likes or responds who is not in your network, and you think, oh, that's maybe like interesting, like a second degree or third degree connection, qualify for yourself. Have a look at the LinkedIn profile and then think about a reason why you want to connect with this person. And make it also with attention. Just also send out a connection request with a good reason, not only just to want to connect, right? And if you have loyal fans, people responding to your posts often, this is one I do a lot, because I think, okay, this is also got everything to do with attention. And when people have read my content and they liked it or they give a comment, and then I created something new, so that then behind the scenes, I share the new piece of content with them. I just share the link and, hey, you liked my content before, maybe this also will suit you. So here it is, and enjoy. And then nothing else. Yeah, so not be commercial, but just only share new content with them. Be social. And of course, then set a reminder for your next action in your CRM. And you cannot all remember everything, so you need to follow up in a proper way. So make sure that you do so. Okay, upcoming video is a video from Nike, and Nike is telling a story. It gives, I think you, but also me, it gives me goosebumps. And they do not sell any product. So I'm very curious if you have looked at the video, how maybe it can inspire you for your business. Oh, that was too quick.
Bom dia, vecina.
So, right, they're telling a story, and you can really relate to it or not. That's also fine. But for myself, as I said before, I'm a sporter. It really gives me goosebumps. And they're not selling their socks or their shoes. No, they're just sharing an experience with me. And you can also think about this kind of video content, and not only video content, but also in your written content. What kind of story do you want to tell in a business way, of course? What is something that your target audience can really relate to? So think about this, okay? Now we're going to a nice part, attract. So again, let's talk about social selling. As I said before, social selling is, in my belief, I can also do social selling without the social media platforms. Because for me, the social selling is the social within us as human being. It's like making a connection from human to human. And you saw in the 9 steps that I developed that the social media is only one step. But of course, we live in a digital world, and social media can provide us with a lot of nice context. So, and you can share your content just with one click. And your social network, as you see here on the picture, social network is not only a social media network. Social network is also an offline network. I strongly believe in still go to offline networks, and now we can after COVID, or the rules are a little bit more extended, like in a way that we can now meet people again, go to the offline networks, go to the seminars, still make appointments, be at the table with your potential customer. As a sales rep, we want to go and play outside, right? We want to get into the car and we want to go to the potential customer. We want to see them and have a look and see them in the eyes. If we do business together, we want to sit together at the table, feel the energy of the other human being. And then after we close the deal, of course, we want to shake hands, or maybe not shake hands anymore, but just then maybe give a box. But also here, as I said before, a handwritten postcard. Think of ways that you can combine the new ways and the old ways, or more traditional ways, and combine those two. Think about social selling techniques in the online world, also in the offline world. How can you combine it? If you do so, then it becomes really, really powerful. So a quick recap of this. Social listening, this is more on LinkedIn, right? So you can also do like social listening, learn everything about your relationships, read about the content of your potential customer. And of course, you can use technology, like LinkedIn, Google Alerts. You can just set them with keywords and then collect all kind of content about your potential customer. Social engagements, so show yourself, add value. Make sure that you are a professional brand, personal business professional brand, and don't sell too early. Of course, we all want to make money and we all want to close deals as you are a sales rep, but don't sell too early. People don't want it anymore. So just be patient, And social commitment, build trust online, build a community, make sure that you have fans and ambassadors, and stay out of the friend zone. And fans and ambassadors, to create them, it has everything to do, of course, also with time, be patient, a strong personal brand, valuable that you bring to your fans and ambassadors. And they can also provide, of course, you with new potential customers. This is also a really social way of doing business. And if they do so, always thank them, right? Because referral acquisition, referrals that you get from your network, it's gold. It's really gold. So if you get them, really make sure that you send something nice, or surprise your ambassador or your fan with something nice. Okay, I think this is the last one. Choose for yourself. Take a moment. Truth or dare? Truth. What makes you good at your job? Really good at your job. Dare. Oh, this is a nice one. Introduce a connection to someone else because you think that they can help each other. As we said before, it's not only about taking, no, it's also giving. It's giving and taking. So this is a good one for their action. Introduce a connection to someone else, and not to get paid for or something, just because you think they can help each other. Yeah, think about it. So summing up, yourself as a powerful brand, a powerful personal brand. Always make sure that you add value and give a lot, really give a lot. I strongly believe in if you give a lot, then it will, at one day, at one point of moment in your life, you will get it back. I don't know how, I don't know when exactly, but I really believe in this. So, and be active and always make sure that you make a connection first before you go to the selling phase.
Do you love your wife? Yes. Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, you didn't love her. Now you love her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question. But it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? Leadership is the same thing. It's about transition. So if you were to go to the gym, it's like exercise, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, like in a relationship, I bought her flowers and I wished her happy birthday, and she doesn't love me. Clearly I'll give up. That's not what happens. If you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency, right?
So it's all about consistency, right? If I will ask you guys, okay, what is the day that you really became a strong personal brand? You don't know, right? What is the day that you really became successful in your social selling techniques or in your sales process? You don't know. It's being consistent with everything, and also be patient, have patience. So I'm very curious. We're almost getting to the end, right? The last 4 or 5 minutes. What are you going to start with right away? What's the promise that you made yourself while you were listening to this keynote, and maybe you thought about a few things in your business, for yourself, in your personal development, in your personal leadership? What are you going to start with right away? Please write it down for yourself. So, yeah, as I said before, there are no shortcuts. There's no luck. You have to be patient and always be prepared. Always, when you're in contact with potential customers and with your customers, make sure that you always be prepared. And there are no excuses in business or in life. No excuses. Make it important for yourself. So I want to share one last video with you guys, and then we get back and then we go to wrap it up. Then I thank everyone for the energy and attention, and make sure for yourself that you start, and that you make it important and make it magical. And thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really loved your presentation, and especially some illustrations from, for example, B2C brands, because I think it's not a usual way how to talk about social selling. And this is very inspiring and interesting that you can, for example, take some interesting ideas from different industries, from different brands. Thank you for that.
Thanks. Yeah, nice to hear. Yeah.